Well, here we are again, back in Mittenrahm, after 2 weeks of mildly productive work. Let's put it that way. As you can see, I'm just on the outskirts of Coron. Came back over here because I decided after starting over there, where we've already seen last time, that I would do a Halloween themed build. I had a place to do it. The idea I had turned out to be a little over the top, a little too big for where I wanted it in one sense, a certain sense. But then when I decided to modify it to something else, that became larger as well. So I never finished it before Halloween was over, which is unfortunate because that would have been nicer. This is done. I'm fairly happy with it. Some of my usual swamp modifications. These little pillars of rock, which I refer to as hydra teeth, for the most part. Slightly misleading in most of these cases. Yeah, it hasn't come out too bad. Not really happy with the web. It's never been that convincing as actual cobweb, and it's ridiculously bright. It looks like I really didn't leave a way to get across. I think I may have been heading in the direction of it needed to be a boat to get across, I think. Not sure. So, yeah, these are the more elaborate, just the mounds that have been added. One of them's hollow. And these are the stumps of the original witch's hut. This is why this location was chosen. And the original concept wasn't going to work because it was just too close. This is more modest, it's like low-key from a distance. I'm not really sure how it even looks from the road. But yeah, the idea obviously was that you wouldn't it wouldn't stand out too much. The original concept, I mean, yeah, this is just like bits of tree poking over. It's a little odd looking, but the original idea, which I'm not specifying for reasons I'll go into in a moment, would have been too obvious and looked too weird. I want to do it again. I want to actually use it somewhere else. There are other witches' huts that need to be dressed up. I mean, hell, there's one over there, which is no good either, but, there's just one over there, there's another one on the other side of this desert jungle. So there's plenty of options. But this one, after rebuilding it in true form, to basically as a witch's hut, I partially burned it using the darker wood, give the illusion that somebody had tried to burn it down. I think that's the idea with the trees here. And then I don't know, I just suddenly was like, I'm going to replace the wood with pumpkin. It was partly to help the fact that I've done the witch's hat before, in wood, and I decided it really needed to be black, and that just looked weird, sat on top of the wood, so it looks less weird, sat on top of a pumpkin. I suppose it's supposed to be a giant pumpkin that's been carved out of. Not really sure. It worked surprisingly well. That did throw me off a little bit. I was like, oh, okay. There's no way up here, which is, I've actually done that in the past. using the internal of the trunk to do a partial staircase that then comes up and spirals around the top half. But that tree, I think, must be larger because there's just no real way to do that here. This is a named skull. It actually says Lord Ashmore. Unfortunately, the name won't display for some reason. I assumed it would, like an animal does, but apparently not. So, not really sure what. It would be nice if this was more open, like thinner. These bars are too tight. Yeah, it's too orange. It's gonna be too red. Yeah, there's not really much else for it. Unfortunate, but you know, needs must. It's not obvious that there's something in there, which is the problem. But yeah, the head is named Lord Ashmore, and I think this may be the Ashmore, which is actually, I just realised, not workable, because I think this already has a name. The swamp has a name anyway. I'll have to check that out. Anyway, this took a little while. There was a lot of umming and ahhing before I could really get started on it. But in the end it boiled down to do a handful of identical trees. So it didn't really take much once I was underway. It did occur to me to do a witch's hut in several of these as if it was some sort of council of witches, which was a nice idea, but again far too close to the city. This is the major central city. There is no way that they would tolerate something like that near them. Although the only saving and caveat to that would be the fact that I consider the biomes representative, but not literal. So this might be dozens of kilometers across in real life, or bigger. So this could be some distance away, although we're still in the heart of the Empire, so, you know. It still wouldn't make complete sense for it to be here. So after completing that, I returned to the area over here called, I think it's called the Marfold at the moment. Maybe change to Marfolt or Ford, Marfold. Fault and fold. I need to check something because I think it's in the north that the T becomes a D. Something along those lines. Anyway, that's what I'm going with at the moment. I'll have to see how it progresses. Originally I was calling plains biomes flats, but Marflat just doesn't sound right. So I think that was done, and then I moved on to this. X, just give me a minute, I'm finishing up a little thing to clip later. So this was supposed to be a fort, but I don't think it really turned out very fort-like. It would have been easy to finish off as a fort. The only thing I really got wrong was the fact that there's really no... It's like, there's the top here, and there's this. But these roofs should have had access and been flat so that people could stand on them to defend and attack. But other than that, I'm fairly happy with it. Usual lack of internal decoration, obviously. Seems like a fire hazard. Stop it. Oh yeah, those are too low. Oops. There are no blue steps. I don't know what I would do about it. So we moved on to the town. Martin, I think it's called. Not going too badly. I need to swap some of the houses out. The roofs. It needs a little tweaking, I think. It's mostly done. Yeah, I've used too many roof colours, it's a little bit weird. I think that's staying, and that's staying. I think I'm going to have to use darker woods on this. Get rid of the oak, basically. Well, actually, it is a plains biome. Probably keep the oak. I wonder whether it's the dark wood I need to stop using here. But it's coming along fairly well. After this, it's going to be from farmland. They'll probably be next. Decide whether one bridge is going in here or not. There's the guard tower. I'm not sure if that's a house or a tower. That's a house. That's the windmill. Possibly a water temple. Farmhouse. 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 Tower. Obviously the road needs to go in. I have been thinking about whether this road ought to come all the way around here. I don't know. I've decided I still need to grow this forest out as well. Probably do that before I start anything, so they're growing while my back is turned. See if I can find anywhere else I want to put them. But I'm going to cut the review off there, and say adieu, and get on with some of this work. And then we have Marfolt, or Fold, or Folk.